Yeah. Yeah, it was nice getting out there again this year. Starting to plan next year's activities already.
Are you?
There's a crap ton on the island that's going on. Those guys are killing it out there.
I see Rick Lune's just texting me right now, so hopefully I'll get over there and actually shoot some of those guys.
We've got a bunch of stuff planned. We'd love to have an island 2-day championship.
Oh, that would be
just
awesome.
because there's a community there.
There is.
There's 3 or 4 clubs now that are getting into it.
Yeah.
And I think it's time. We got some big plans for ORPS as well that we're just going to iron out. Maybe a 2-day regional championships for Outlaw series to try and, so right now Outlaw runs 5 stages. So it's half a day. Now imagine if you had 2 days of Outlaw, 20 stages over Saturday, Sunday. I think that'd be a hoot.
That'd be so much.
A hoot. Yeah. And I think and the island's the only. Yeah,
sorry, cutting off. The Outlaw matches, the guys just run their own stages. They figure it all out for themselves.
So it's a national course of fire. So all the clubs across Canada run the same course of fire, and then we've got the leaderboard that says who scored what across Canada. So there's at least a couple of dozen clubs running it, and now we're in the 3rd year, so I think we can do a 2-day. I still got to iron out with potential hosts, but that's the plan, is to have it across the regions.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas.
Well, hello.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Good. Have you ever met Ryan in person?
Not in person, no.
I don't think so.
We got to get you out here, Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to come.
Well, CRPS Nationals are going to be in Ontario, so that'd be a great opportunity to meet the eastern customers of IBI and Ultimatum.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, roughly when is that going to be?
August some time frame.
Yeah.
So we're building our schedule around Northern Rimfire Series. So they just announced their dates.
Yep.
So what we're going to do now is finalize ours, and then we'll be able to publish it in a couple of weeks. So.
And you guys are going to have a shoot next year.
Yeah, if we do it right, you could come for a week and you can shoot like a Northern Rimfire Series and a CRPS.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of good shooters and some beautiful courses of fire that those guys put together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
Tie it into NSCC maybe next year.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Have you tried the new Daria TM22s yet?
I have not.
They're
is it a shotgun?
No, it's a 22.
Oh, really?
It's a 22 that uses a AR-15 buffer tube stock, so it feels very AR-15-ish.
Yeah.
Same size bullet.
Yeah.
But the mags are just a little small, Yeah. So I've got the winter to work on it and turn it into something beefier for CQB
less
at least.
Kickback.
Is it semi-auto or bolt action?
Semi-auto, yeah, semi-auto. Yeah. So we got another minute. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll bring it up.
Yeah,
one of our hosts, Canada's Gun Store, sells them. I think Wolverine sells them too. And
do they?
yeah, Odell Engineering brings them in. So yeah. Good
awesome.
guys. Those guys have a ton of
those guys.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool guys.
Yeah, Anthony finally decided to get a new barrel for his Era, so.
Oh, there you go. You bit the bullet, eh? Oh,
yeah.
I'm not sure you're supposed to be publicizing that, right?
Yeah, probably not. But hey, they don't make a 12 twist, so there.
There you go.
That's what he's got to do.
There you go. That's it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's almost
Even
ready.
Kim. Yeah. Someone says, Ryan, turn up your audio, please. I don't.
Yeah, you're coming in a little low on my side too.
I haven't even got a clue how to do that, fellas.
Right. Well, let me run the intro, and then we'll go live because we're live now. But so stand by, Ryan.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to Rimfire Nation Podcast, presented by Tesro.ca, Season 2, Episode 2. We have joining us this evening Ryan Steacy from International Barrels Inc., also of Ultimatum Precision, and Thomas G, the G-Man, G-Money from Canada. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey,
How are
thanks.
things?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you had a busy year, Ryan, not only from a shooting perspective, but from a work perspective. How are things out west?
Well, there's definitely a lot of things going on. Now, oh, there's John.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Yeah, there was obviously we took over Ultimatum Precision and took over the operations of that, and so that kind of doubled my workload in a lot of ways. But I still managed to get out and shoot a lot of rimfire matches this year.
Yeah, it was awesome.
14 or 15 by the end of the season.
That's amazing.
Oh, nice.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. The that was at BCPRL as well as the guys in Kamloops.
Yeah, there was some BCPRL. There was the ones in Heffley Creek.
Yeah.
Some NRL matches. Josh Botha was putting them on in Chilliwack and
nice.
In Camp. And I think one in Merritt as well was also NRL, but it was good. So we'll see if that goes anywhere next year for the NRL finals down in the States. I think I'm somewhere near the top of that board. So.
Nice. That would be awesome. We had a bunch of guys from the East go down for the regionals, and now they're going to nationals, and they did very well. Podium, like a handful of podium finishes, I think.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good.
NRL does it different. Their season ends sort of beginning to mid-summer, and then they start over in July, I think, something like that.
Oh, really?
Is that right? Interesting.
Probably a good idea, because then you run a national level match during the good weather. So it's
Exactly.
Not in February when it's freezing or raining.
Yeah, we did that this year. We're still I'm still trying to iron out the statistics kinks. Actually, it's just me naming the events properly, so John has an easier time. Right, John?
Yeah.
I stress out John. John's already got enough problems as it is. So, yeah.
Is John the data guy?
John is the data guy for CRPS, and Thomas is the data guy for Outlaw.
Yeah.
So these two guys make it all happen, which is awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
That works. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not a data.
No, you outsource that, right, Ryan?
I'm almost anti-data, but at times I have to be data. So.
Well, we saw you post. We saw you posting data this week.
I was gonna say I was reading some of your data this morning.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. There you go. So what was that? What was that all about? What were you working on there?
Well, we're kind of goofing around with something a little bit different as far as land and groove profiles go, and that's about all I'm going to say about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to run some testing for you at the King of 2 miles next year.
There's definite possibilities for sure.
Yeah. There you go.
I've only shot it to 100, or no, I think I shot 200 last weekend.
Okay.
And so I basically have to go through all of it and look and see if it does what I think it'll do or not.
Nice.
Which is why I don't really want to say anything, because I have no idea whether it's going, like, it's panned out great. You can see some of those 10-shot groups at 50.
Yeah.
And there were some pretty decent ones at 100 as well, but I don't shoot 50 and 100. I shoot 200, 300 plus.
Yeah.
So the data has to stack up back there as well.
Yeah. Kamloops is a great range for that long range stuff to get out to. I think you can get out to 500 where we were shooting, because you can go up the hill. Heffley too. Yeah. Heffley goes up to 800, right?
Yeah. Heffley way out there.
Nice. But, that's true.
Kamloops, you can, like the flat range there, the square one, you can get to 500.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And we, so this year at King of 2 miles at Saskatoon at Twisted Roosters Ranch, we implemented your aluminum targets.
Oh, did you?
So we had 30 inches all the way out to 4x4 foot plates out to 651 meters or something.
Holy smokes.
I can't remember. Yeah. So we had 2 guys that went all the way to 600, but couldn't get past the 600. So what's that?
How far out did you have them?
We had them starting at, well, we had 4 different stages. So we had 4-inch squares going out to 250-ish. We had 1/3 IPSICs, and we had 12-inch squares going out to 400. And then we had the larger full-size aluminum going out to 648 was the farthest one.
Yeah.
So step back, we had 9 of those targets. So we had 9 of those targets, decreasing in 50 meters. So it was a good test. It was a good test.
That'd be a challenge for sure.
Yeah. So next year we had a couple of folks clean the smaller targets. So now we got to add 2 more targets to each one.
Yeah.
So the 4-inch square, they were cleaning it over 220 meters. So you have to go 3 out of 10.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
That is good. Yeah, 4 inches to 200. That would be. I mean, it's doable, but.
Yeah. It obviously is doable, and
you're not going to clean it.
No, it's a ton of fun. So next year, yeah. So someone asked, are there going to be more King of 2 mile events? Yes. We're going to be back in Saskatoon. So Saskatoon is kind of the unofficial home for the King of 2 miles Canada. But we will have 2 mile events across Canada. So we're working on a venue in Ontario, and we're looking for a venue in the West.
Yeah.
So maybe Heffley could be the place. The only problem with Heffley is you got to go elevation. It's like you got to be looking uphill. Not the end of the world, but I guess we can get an angled platform just to make it easier for folks. And then we'd have to have room to set up for 4 stages. So, but we can make that work. So that's something we're working on now.
And you need to about 600 or 700 or
700. Yeah, our plan is 700. Yeah, that would be ideal for us. Yeah.
Well, I'll keep my.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There might be something.
Yeah. So that's a quick update. So yeah, let's get back to Ryan and IBI, man. So big changes for you guys. Kind of absorbing Ultimatum Precision. You want to chat a little bit about that? I mean, I immediately that people noticed, customer service, changed overnight. Things are getting shipped out. People were receiving. That's awesome.
I hope so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean the effort you put into making IBI successful, kind of the customer service, I think we're very optimistic and hopeful at what that will mean for Ultimatum Precision, and kind of the quality of the guy who's making the barrels now is also involved in making the actions. I think, putting your name behind that and the quality you've put into IBI's barrels, we're very hopeful. So,
well, I'm hopeful too. I definitely want the actions to have the same sort of thought processes as we put into the barrels. Obviously,
right.
It needs to have the same level of customer service. People need to answer the phone. They need to return your emails in a timely manner, and they need to talk to people. Right? Like, I know previously it was very difficult to get a hold of anybody there after a certain time, and that just can't happen. Right? Like, not gonna happen.
And there's a lot of competition in that custom action market. I mean,
well, that's the whole thing too, right? Like, there's more and more actions cropping up on the market. So if we want the proper amount of market share that I think we probably should have, then there just has to be effort put in, and people have to, like, you got to care about the products that you make and sell, right?
Yeah.
I want to use all that stuff, so it's got to get by me first, and maybe I'm one of the worst critics so far. So few things are going to change, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah. So for those folks that don't know, so Ultimatum Precision's got the Deuce, right, which is the 22 LR action. What are the other actions that Ultimatum offers right now?
So Ultimatum offers, 2 actions for sure. We offer the Deuce in 22, which is a Remington 700 footprint drop-in. It's best run off of a barrel nut pre-fit barrel, so you can adjust the headspace. That's kind of an IBI thing. That was something that I've been pushing a lot, because I find the adjustability on the headspace is hugely important to making these things get as much accuracy out of them as you can. And then we run another action, which is a 3-lug with a floating bolt head called the Deadline. And the Deadline started out pretty rough, but the Gen 2, which is the version that we have now, is actually pretty badass. I ran one all season. I don't know if you remember, I was shooting PGW actions before, and I love PGW actions. I will always love PGW actions. But this 3-lug Deadline has got a 60-degree bolt throw, and it's really fast. And it's super smooth, and it runs great. And yes, it does drop into a 700 footprint chassis / stock. And I can go over that if you like, because there's probably some people wondering, because they had some issues with the Gen 1 apparently that didn't drop into some of the chassis.
Yeah.
So I talked to the guys at MDT because I didn't know, right? Like, I just heard some things. I heard one side saying it doesn't work. I heard the other side saying it does work. So I got to figure it out for myself. So we got an ACC, and I dropped the Gen 2 in and went and shot some PRS matches in Saskatchewan with it. And it fits fine.
Nice.
Supposedly, from what the guys at MDT told me, is that the Deadline Remington inlet is now their standard 700 inlet. So I don't know if there was something funky with the previous inlet or whatever the deal was. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it doesn't matter, because the Gen 1s are not a thing anymore, and it's only Gen 2s now. And I know MDT's coming out with their Gen 2 ACC, which I actually shot the other weekend when I was shooting with Martin. And that thing is nice.
Yeah. Everyone's waiting to get their hands on that. Everyone's got that in their wish list this year.
It's stiff. It's very. So I think it's going to be a bit of a game changer in that department for sure.
Yeah.
So Ultimatum has 2 actions at the moment. We have a third called the De Facto. That one is a Tikka footprint. I'm not sure what the status of that one is going to be in the future. I still have lots of them in stock. It's a cool little action, but it was meant to be sort of a lower buck action. It's not a precision thing. I mean, I've shot it. It shoots awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for buttery smooth, that's not your. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's still better than most factory actions.
Yeah. That's a Tikka footprint, though, right?
Yeah, it's a Tikka footprint.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of an answer to a question that never got asked. So,
well, I was intrigued because I shoot Tikka for my center fires.
Yep.
So I said, that would make sense just to try it out. Either,
Yep.
If the Deadline was any indication of what could be possible, I was interested. And then I just saw that there was a huge back order and things weren't getting shipped, and I said, I'll wait.
Yeah,
I'll wait. So
yeah. I mean, I have lots of them in stock that are ready to go. They just need to have barrels put on. But it's an intriguing little action. I'm not sure what the thought process was in designing it. Nor do I really care, to be honest with you. But
so if someone wanted to build a cheap truck gun, a De Facto could be the answer.
It's a regular Tikka length action. So I mean, you could run a 30-06 or a Swede or a 270 in there, and it would.
Nice.
No problem.
Oh, you got my mind. You got my gears turning, Ryan.
Yeah.
I got to see how much left in the piggy bank.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have that, and I have a new action coming.
Oh.
New action. So are we talking 2023 or 2024?
You mean for timing?
Timing.
Well, it's in prototype stages right now.
Okay.
But, it will be available in 2023. I'm not going to give any timings because
that's your plan.
Did, and that's what shenanigans.
Yeah.
But we're paying a lot of attention to it. So
what kind of niche are you trying to fill, or what's the objective there?
Rick is burning there.
Yeah, right. So it's probably, in my opinion, and I wasn't involved with the company before. But in my opinion, it's where they should have started, and it's 2-lug, 700 footprint. The tolerances are going to be badass.
Nice.
We've purchased a wire EDM machine. So
nice.
are going to
Slick.
be wire EDM'd, and it's going to be buttery smooth. The prototypes are pretty, they're pretty awesome. So that's the first thing that we're going to get rolling. It's going to have a concave breech face, so you'll get a little bit better engagement in there. I'm not 100% sure on the extractor style yet. What I would really like to have is a controlled feed style bolt face, but one where if you have to throw one into the chamber, you can snap the extractor over the bolt face.
Nice.
That's yet to be done, but we're working on the actual action body right now, and it's we got some parts today, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. You thinking short action, long action, or short action?
Yeah, it'll be short action and long action. And
nice.
Our goal is to have it available complete for around $1,100.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
nice.
That's our goal. Don't quote me on that.
Because you don't have enough stuff to do, right? Right.
Yeah. Right. But nice. I think foreseeing any kind of weirdness, I think there shouldn't be much problem getting a nice high-end, high tolerance 2-lug action that's done properly.
Yeah.
Into the system for around, that $1,100.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And made in Canada.
And made in Canada, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it would be good if we could get that one going. And then there's other plans for the long action, and then some lefties probably after that. We'll get all that figured out.
Oh man, a lefty deuce would kick ass.
Yeah, I've had a few requests for lefty deuces, so I might have to look at that.
There's that's the biggest complaint I hear is there's no lefties out there. Everyone offers it. There's lefties out there. Yeah,
is there Voodoo? Like Voodoo makes a...
Yeah, Voodoo does.
Voodoo does?
Rimex, I'm not sure.
I haven't heard of a Rimex lefty.
Yeah. Bulgaria?
Yes, Rimex makes a left and Voodoo does.
Do they?
All right, so most of the customs.
Very, very few Rimex lefts out there, but they do exist.
Yeah, I haven't seen one.
So there is a market. That's the biggest complaint is that even in the starter rifles, people have heard that lefties were offered, but you can never get at them. So I think it's a good way to, for folks looking to get into it and they're serious about it, just jump into a lefty deuce, and skip the T1X/CZ457, trainer actions. Yeah. If you're serious about the game and you're a lefty, you might as well just buy once, cry once, because you don't have a lot of options really.
Well, that seems to be kind of the way things are going out here, at least anyways. A lot more people looking at full-size 22s instead of the Tikas and the Savage. Like, I don't remember the last time I seen anybody running a Savage. As much as I like the action, the money, like, I do,
There's a few. Not a ton.
New shooters showing up with a buddy's Mark II. That's pretty common, but it doesn't last too long usually. Half a season.
There's a few B-22s that come out, but
I saw a new semi-auto that a guy was banging away at the range with the other day, and he was smacking steel at 100 meters offhand with it.
Yeah, Savage 64 or the A22, A22, because they have an A22 Precision also, which comes in MDT chassis.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So they're pretty good. I like them.
Yeah,
I like them.
Yeah.
We've been running, Savage provided us a bunch of demo rifles for the Discovery Day. So we were rolling around with a full assortment all the way down to the $300 plus Savage 64, which is my favorite plinking rifle. It's you put a Athlon red dot on it, and that thing is just fun as all get out. Like a perfect gopher gun too. Just bang away. It's so much fun.
Is that so much fun. You could run that at your speed challenge?
The X22s. Yeah,
20
you could. The Precision, the paper bullseye, it struggles a little bit. That's why I talked about getting a carbon barrel for it.
Yeah,
like the barrel would be worth 3 times more than the rifle.
Well, we could look at it for sure. I don't know if the way to go.
Well, but I'll send you one, Ryan. See what you can. I don't know how it comes apart. I was trying to get some engineering drawings from Savage, and that didn't come through. So
great.
Yeah.
I'll take it apart, and I won't be able to put it back together, and I'll just send it back to you in a box.
Just drive one in there and just recut the chamber. That's all.
Rick, here's your gun back. Sorry, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I think all the parts are there. Not sure.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be taken apart. It's a one-way street only. Yeah.
Well, we probably would have rebarreled a lot of Savages had they not pinned the Mark II, the barrel tenon into the action.
Oh, it's pinned. Okay.
It's pinned, which is doable, but it's difficult, and it brings the price way up because you have to make sure everything's headspaced perfectly, then put the barrel in, then drill holes and align everything, and it's you can do it, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but why would you at that point, right?
Is the B-22 the same design?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a look.
Look at that. Yeah, I've got a few. Well, I'll send you some pictures over the winter, Ryan, because I know you've got nothing else to do in that downtime because you're not out shooting, or you're not shooting as much anyway. Yeah.
Not. I do need to get out and practice, though.
Yeah.
I clearly need more practice compared to some of the other shooters that are shooting out here on the West Coast at the top end. It's like
the level of competition, man, has just gone through the roof the last couple of years.
It's so awesome to get out there.
I know.
I don't know if I told you, but the last, was it NRL? I can't remember which match it was. It was at Heffley, anyways. The last one. I think it was Josh's match. It was so it was part NRL and part fun, right?
Yeah.
And it was 10 stages. I cleaned 7 stages, and I'm thinking, this is awesome. I'm probably going to kick everybody's ass in this. I came in 4th. I'm like,
you can't take a break, man.
What is going on here?
What do I right?
Do to gain some spots here? But
there's old guys getting better, and there's new shooters skyrocketing up to the top. I mean, we see it, and these guys are just focused, laser beam focused on just grinding out improvement, which is awesome. I mean, it's the rimfire game is making it so affordable or approachable to anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the other cool thing too is that newer, it seems to me anyways, newer shooters are less intimidated to come in and shoot a 22 match than they are to come in and shoot a centerfire match. Maybe it's an accessibility thing to some degree, but the guns aren't big and freaky, and it doesn't cost you $200 for all the ammo maybe it doesn't cost you an enormous amount.
I know. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about the guns being cheaper because I think that's a fallacy.
It can be. It can be, but like we all like nice things. I think the other thing about centerfire is like the price of factory ammo now and the availability or unavailability of components for reloading, and I think that's a huge stumbling block for a lot of people. So unless you're sitting on thousands of primers and pounds of powder and boxes of projectiles, it's tough, So
it's definitely good.
Yeah, that's it.
I've been a little bit surprised at the availability of ammo. So I guess some really big sea containers of ammo came in from Ely, and I know that Asmir, Asmir has some SK and Kua stuff in stock. Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's buy it while it's here. Yeah. And I think there's the next shipment's going to be in spring from Ely. So yeah. March, April timeframe is what I heard.
I listened to John earlier and tried more Ely in my testing, but the reality was that I found ammo in SK that shot pretty well, and I just didn't have time. So I just kind of went with what I knew was working okay. But John was right for sure. The SK match, the black box stuff, shoots pretty bloody good. Yeah. So we'll see if it holds up out to 300 meters. I think John, you tested it out far, did you not? Or far?
Yeah, further, but yeah. No, I have no fears in recommending Ely. Other than potentially, it's getting significantly harder to find. Because before everyone shot like SK and the cool guys shot Lapua, you could Ely anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, so maybe I should just shut up.
Yeah,
Well, just share it
Selfish.
among your close friends, John.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they share it among their close friends, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a couple of us out here that are shooting the match at Ely match now, and so I don't know.
Yeah. Just don't tell anybody. Just put your rounds into SK boxes so no one knows what you're shooting really. And that way your supply is protected for the next couple of months at least,
Yeah. The problem is when you pull them out, they're pretty obviously not SK.
Yeah.
That's true.
Completely
That's
different.
true. Yeah.
But maybe we can just convince Korth to bring in an enormous amount of it so that we can.
Yeah. Well, they're trying. They keep upping the volumes, and like I saw them 2 weeks after the August shipment came in.
Yep.
And I think majority of the inventory is already spoken for and unavailable.
Yep.
Like all the retailers placed their orders, and that basically cleaned them out of half the inventory that they brought in.
Yeah.
So it's it's great for them, right? It's great for them.
Well, it is and it's not. I mean, clearly there's more demand than they have supply. So for a business, that's not great. You've got customers, but no product to give them. So I don't know.
Yeah. I
Makes
think
for it though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at the layer, because the layer of demand we put in over the last 5 years on an annual basis. So between us, BCPRL, NRL across Northern Rimfire and Project Maple Seed, I mean, it's in the millions of rounds, 3 to 5 million rounds additionally that was never consumed in Canada before.
Match grade rounds, no less.
Yeah, match grade rounds. So we get guys going to Project Maple Seeds running, SK rifle match and Center X. I remember shooting with, Winchester white box and M22.
Freedom bucket.
Yeah, bring the bucket.
No, freedom bucket. For me, that's like, I didn't know anything. It's like, it goes bang. It goes bang reliably, and it was good enough. Now,
a few people are still chasing that perfect score, So
they
up their ammo.
Sean Marginet from PGW there. He scored a 249 last year out of a possible 250. So it was 1 point off. Perfect score.
And
so
then what was Jess Tischler's score? It was high.
248? 247?
I feel like saying 248. So
yeah, she was like
right
pretty close too.
That's awesome. And are they shooting it with a semi-auto?
You can use semi or bolt.
I think she might have used her Grey Birch semi.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Sean was using a bolt. I can't remember what action.
Yeah.
But he was definitely shooting a bolt.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
When are you here again?
It'll be in the summer. I'm trying to work out a schedule that I can bring my wife with me, so that's gonna be critical to the Rick Goes Out West plan next year.
Yeah. Rick doesn't want to be single.
Yeah, it's too expensive.
Right.
It's too expensive. No, so we'll see. Yeah, that'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah. So actually, we Chilliwack, we connected with Chilliwack Fish and Game last year, and they've rolled out the red carpet to us, and it's a perfect venue. It'll be kind of like the Lower Mainland Maple Seed headquarters in BC.
Sweet.
Yeah. So they said anytime, we can make it happen. So.
Yeah, I think next year they're going to be pretty heavily involved in the rimfire scene altogether. I was talking to
That's
Josh.
awesome.
Josh,
yeah.
He said that he had anywhere up to like 12 or 13 days already.
Nice.
Sort of squared away. So
yeah, it's a nice club.
Yeah, it's cool there. It'd be
it's
cool
a nice
if
club.
it's a little bit longer, but you can go a lot 200 meters.
They got the room for it. They just gotta make it happen.
How long is it?
It's only 200.
Yeah.
Great. So it'd be very similar to what we see in the States. Like 225 yards is a long target, is what we've noticed. So your 200 meters, you could build what I would consider, or what seems to be a normal American match.
Yep.
It seems that up here in Canada, we've got an obsession for a distance that they don't have.
Yeah.
far larger targets, but we shot, like the Ottawa guys here. We shot quite a few American match this summer, and they use some small targets.
Yeah,
so it's a
Small,
different,
but
a little closer, but quite small. So they challenge your stability more than your dope, I guess.
Yeah.
That was one thing I really noticed in their discussions regarding shooting, 300-400 yards. They're like, oh, you need multiple BC profiles and all this. And it's like, no, guys, it's obvious you don't do it enough. So I find it really interesting for them to come up and see how our matches would feel, where you're looking at 300-yard targets and beyond. They might find that just like, oh boy, we go down there, it's like, what, 4-inch target at 160 yards, really? I mean, it's doable, but we're not used to it.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun, right? As you travel and shoot, you see different match directors, different course of fire. Like that's an interesting variety. A CRPS feels like a CRPS. If you go to Avonmore, it's got a certain flavor. If you do the NRS, it's got a different flavor. It's quite nice.
Yeah. We'll throw a monkey wrench into there and bring some really challenging courses of fire, small targets, really wobbly props, and real rookie destroyers.
Yeah.
Or the dreaded offhand.
I did think they had more solid props, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They didn't. The positions were not that challenging. But
get your basic tire, spool, rock pile, hay bales.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't shoot any tires, which tires automatically got their bounce to them, but yeah.
Well, that's that NRL 22 style of shooting where a long shot's probably 150, but the targets are smaller, but pretty much everything is within 150 usually.
So that's what Josh puts on, is the NRL.
Yeah.
I guess the NRL is quite a bit bigger in the West.
He works with Ed also, right? Ed puts out some longer courses of fire sometimes.
Yeah. Usually what they do is they sort of join forces, and Josh runs the NRL side of it, which is, I think, 5 or 6 stages maybe. And then Ed will tack on another sort of non-NRL 4 or 5 stages.
Okay.
And he's been really creative. His buddy Andrew has got a plasma cutter, so he's been cutting all kinds of wacky targets, which have been awesome.
Nice.
Been shooting at sharks and fish and penguins and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
nice. That makes it fun.
Yeah. And then, they usually stretch it out a little bit further than what the NRL stuff does. I think we shot to 350 or 360 or something this summer. So
nice.
It's a reasonable distance, but that range is pretty tricky as far as the wind goes at times.
Yeah.
On the longer target.
Yeah, that's a crazy. Like when we were shooting the 2-day there when you're coming in the different terrains in the woods and up that gully and then up the hill, it was pretty challenging. Yeah,
it's different for sure. I kind of enjoyed all that foresty stuff that
I did as well.
Even though it was closer, it was more like hunting or actual field shooting kind of idea.
Yeah. I think that's where we'll look at putting the 22 Hunter out there. Mm-hmm. If we can get access to that backside field, we'll get 10 stages set up.
In there?
Yeah, in there. Yeah.
How far is that?
It can be close, just like you said. It doesn't, like in Saskatoon, we had them going from 40 yards all the way out to 275. Okay. Yeah, so it depends on the terrain. So we'll work within the terrain. If it's tighter through the trees, then we'll make them smaller and closer. But it'll be positionally challenging or difficult to find because they're blind stages, right? All 10 stages are blind. So we'll tell you how many, what size, and rough arcs of fire left and right, and then you gotta find them.
Yeah. We could probably run something pretty similar to that up at the ranch in Merritt there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've got matches in there, and I mean you can easily get 300 there, no problem.
Nice.
In the different areas. one area you're shooting over sort of a creek gully, and the other area you're kind of shooting over a swamp. So
right,
you got a couple of options. Both of them seem to have pretty good backstops.
Nice.
So that might be something you can look into as well. Because that area is only really viable in the summer because they already have a foot of snow up there. So
yeah, it's a narrow window. Yeah.
There's no way to get in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, could be something. Perfect place for a field match.
Yeah, for sure. Last year we had it at Nicola Valley there at what's that range called? It's called the Merritt Range.
Yeah, I think so. Merritt.
Yeah.
Nicola
Valley fishing game. Yeah. Yep. Pretty sweet. Nice. Hey, Jeff Campbell, Sniper Series, Southwest Ontario. Yes, Ontario for sure. Southwest, we'd love to. We're looking at venues now. We've got the line in Eastern Ontario, but nothing confirmed in Southwest. And then I got to retrain everybody because Sniper Series is changing to 22 Hunter next year to be a more inclusive, less intimidating sport.
I like that name better.
So, same course of fire, just 22 Hunter. So we'll bring the kids out and
make the targets little critters. It's fun.
Still animals, exactly. Yeah. So I'm working with Gongjo Targets on changing that up. So
you feel free to skip the chickens though. Those things are.
Those are awesome. The little NRA 1/5 scale silhouette targets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're tiny. The chicks are a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah.
They're like 2 inches wide.
These things on the spinner with a 18-20 pound gun offhand, it's not happening.
Forget it. Yeah. I actually started shooting a bit of silhouette just for shits and giggles because good training. You can hit it offhand and you can hit it kneeling or sitting or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun.
Yeah, it is, but it's definitely a little on the humbling side when you're trying bloody chickens. What's the other one?
You got the pigs, turkeys,
and
rams,
right?
Pig?
Yeah,
I
pigs.
remember.
Yeah,
it's a pig, and then there's a turkey or something in there.
Yeah.
I remember whatever this third one out is. I think that's a turkey.
Turkeys, 77.
Yeah, it's got long legs and then a body, but yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, we'd love to get silhouette started up out here because I think it's a great fun sport for the guys that don't like that PRS-y style.
Yep.
Just stand up and shoot. Steel target. It's fun. So
yeah, definitely do it. One thing I've always wanted to do as well is a 22 falling plates version.
Oh yeah.
So I need to find somebody to make me some targets for it, but I would like to have like some, 3-inch targets at 100 or 2-inch targets at 100, and you got to run 50 meters or whatever gun in place. You get up there and knock them all down, moves on kind of thing. You do in first grip, what we used to do.
Yeah.
That would
we've been thinking. So I've been working with Gongjo Targets on trying to come up with head-to-head round robin type stages where people just keep coming up. There's the winner track and then there's the loser track, and then you kind of meet again at the end for winner take all kind of stage.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's the resetting that. But Jonathan at Gongjo, he's a process automation guy, so that's all he works with.
Oh.
So it's all about trying to get it down to an affordable level.
Yeah.
So,
I think you could do it with like a pull cord reset.
Yeah.
Targets kind of,
Yeah.
That's how the air gun field matches work around here. Yeah. They've got a little string going back to where you're shooting, but they shoot pretty static, right? They just sit on the ground and shoot. I mean, I've only seen one of their matches, but it's pretty cool.
You haven't shot one, Thomas?
Nope. No, I don't have a air gun. I've got other vices, but
not yet.
Not an air gun yet.
How far out did those ones go? Like how far did they shoot?
Not too far. I think like 80 was about the farthest they had targets at, but they're small and they're hidden in the woods everywhere, and it's pretty neat.
That's pretty far with it.
Yeah. I wonder how big the air gun community is that might be interested in like an air gun series, like either 177s or 22s, or I don't know.
It was a strange thing. I dropped in just because I saw the group on Facebook. They're not too far from here, and they get together a few times every summer for matches. And most of the guys shooting there, other than for a couple of ORPS guys I recognize, had never heard of what we do. So it seems to be like two very segmented group of people.
Interesting. See, that would be enough guys you could probably get on board with.
Yeah.
Some kind of match just like that without too much problem if they knew it was available.
Yeah. Because you could take the ORPS course of fire and just cut it in half.
Yeah.
Right? Distances in half, and then just shoot it. Just need an organizer, really.
Actually,
doesn't
doesn't NRL 22 have a airgun division?
I think so.
Yeah, they introduced that.
Yeah,
a few years ago.
They shoot the same course of fire.
Do they really?
Yeah. Well, I know nothing about those air guns. Are they mag fed?
Yeah, it's like a little rotary mag. And I mean, obviously they're the PCP kind of like the pre-charge, so they've got a big air cylinder. I mean, it's you can spend some money in that field too.
Yeah, just talk to Francis. Francis spent ungodly amounts of money on air guns. Francis. I mean, Francis out there. So he's got the ones he's familiar with. They run over 1,000 feet per second.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean they're not heavy. They're 22 caliber, but they're not heavy projectiles. But they're still moving.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I know they're a huge thing in the UK. They hunt with them. They hunt. I think they even hunt deer with them in the UK. Not the small ones, obviously.
Yeah, maybe the 50 cal or 35 cal.
Bigger caliber ones for sure.
Yeah.
Super accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ton of pest control videos with air guns.
Yeah. Bats, stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of
pigeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they can be pretty accurate because you're not burning anything that can burn at a different rate. It's all just the same amount of air that you're letting out. So,
and that's where the money is. That's where the money is in the regulators and the triggers and.
Yeah.
One of my buddies in North Carolina actually has a mid-range PCP, and I put my magnolia speed on it at some point, and it's really consistent. I mean, it's all about how good your the regulator is, and as you said, because there's no burning, you start sort of shrinking the SD like crazy. Yeah, we were getting some 2s and 3s, which is pretty freaking good. Yeah.
Wow, that's
nice.
Great.
We should get Tesro on here because Tesro's family.
He would know a thing or two, definitely.
They're all Olympic level air guns.
Yeah.
So with electronic triggers, I think, all kinds of stuff. Oh man, I don't want to dive down another slippery slope. Then Ryan's gonna have to get into air gun barrels, and then it's complicated.
So Doug Blesson is in Dubai.
I think so.
United Arab Emirates or somewhere, shooting at the World Cup, and so he's shooting his 22 and his air gun. But we were out at the range because we made some modifications to his barrel to lighten it up for him and whatever, and so I was doing a bit of testing with something else, and we were testing his as well. And we were talking about air guns a little bit, and then he handed me a box of Lapua Exact, and I'm like, dude, just get that off my table. Because I know exactly what's going to happen when I shoot it.
Yeah.
But I ended up shooting it, and I was like, that's good.
Yeah. It's hard not to want that, eh? It's, when you look at it, say, oh, come on, it's only a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, for what all four of us do, point, probably not really. Is there a point for Doug when he's trying to hit the head of a pin at 50 meters? And yeah, there definitely is for him, but when we're banging steel on a 2 or 3 MOA target, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
For $36 a box for 0.2 ammo is like, holy crap.
I don't spend that much on pistol ammo. Well, I never used to.
Yeah, I don't pay that for any ammo.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I haven't bought pistol ammo in such a long time, and I just got a new 44 cal, and I didn't have any rounds loaded, so I had to buy some. So, gosh, I couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
Oh well, I didn't buy a lot, just enough to make it go bang.
Yeah.
Loudly.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
So what else you guys have been working on IBI? I mean, first off, I got to thank you guys for, or kudos to you guys for building such a world-class reputation out there. Like everyone seems to be just doing so well and super happy with, nobody, I never hear a bitch or a gripe about IBI.
Well, that's
It's always, which is awesome. So congratulations for
well,
keeping it
as you know,
rolling
we have
so well.
fairly high standards, so
I know.
mean,
Your personal reputation's at stake there.
Well, I guess there's a bit of that, but I mean, first things first is I'm a shooter and I want the stuff to be as accurate as it can be. So if it's something that I didn't want to shoot, then why the heck would anybody else want to shoot it? So
Yeah, exactly.
that makes the most. But yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody that works at the shop loves shooting, so it's kind of in our blood. It's what we enjoy doing. So yeah, we're just gonna keep making different stuff. So we've got as far as the barrel shop goes, I have buttons coming for 25 caliber. I had one button already that I tried, and it was pretty good, but I'm not interested in pretty good. So we're back to the drawing board on that one.
Okay.
And then I've got a 270 barrel sitting there that I just haven't had time to get out and shoot. So that is going to be new. We'll definitely have that within the next few months. So I have that. We've been doing lots of back and forth with some pretty big ELR names down in the U.S. Mirage ULR in Texas and Alamo Precision in Texas are both, from what I understand, at the top of the extreme long range shooting. So we've been going back and forth with them, and we've been making some barrels to their specification, which seems to be doing very well. And one of their requests was that we produce 375, 408, and 460 caliber barrels, which we've decided that we're going to go ahead with. So that is in the process as well. That one is a bit of that's going to take a bit because we have to bring in the tooling for the hone in order to do those calibers.
Right.
And each caliber we bring in, you're looking at like $17,000 US just for the tooling for the hone. So it's a bit on the expensive side, but I think with the results they're getting down there, that it's worth our while.
Yeah, there's a potential market for it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm hoping that all the shenanigans that go on with our current person in power right now go away soon, and hopefully that we can get back to shooting all the fun stuff that we were shooting previously. That
would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
It'd be really good. I'd like to shoot service rifle. Like, hello.
Me too.
That one.
And then for 22 ELR, I mean, no one's really done anything past 400 in terms of testing barrel lengths and twist rates, right?
Yep.
So we're trying to get that king of 2 miles. People want to hit that 604, that next level, which is 648 meters.
Yep.
Now, so those are the things that we'd love to work with IBI on and see if we can get some effort in saying, is there a difference?
Well, that the thing that I've been playing with recently might have some answers in it.
Okay, nice.
Different landing groove profiles and stuff.
Okay.
So,
Warren Fredette's saying, how about a 1 in 14 twist?
Anything's possible.
There you go.
Anything's possible. I mean, that would be something that we would have to test as well to see what it would do, right? Like, it's one thing to just make one, but does it do anything different than 12? Does it do anything different than 16? Like,
it's got to test it.
Right?
It might also be an answer to a question that's not really a question.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Because why go halfway to the benefits of a 12? And from what I've seen, the 12 doesn't give up anything on a 16.
No.
So
No.
maybe in bench rest, because that's not at all my thing. But
Yeah, I would agree there, John. I think if you're looking at bench rest or whatnot, I think probably the 16 is the way to go. If you're shooting at 50 and 100 meters only, that's definitely what I would shoot. But if you're going past that 100 meters to 200 meters, 300, 400, the 12 is definitely cuts the vertical out of most of the groups that we saw. The only downside to the 12 is the added amount of spin drift that you have to deal with, and possible Magnus effect if you're in certain types of wind coming from certain directions. So that could be a thing that maybe a 14 would cut down on a little bit, possibly. I don't know. One way to find out, right?
Yeah.
But we got apps. They're precise. They figure it all out. Just punch it in.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, you can definitely run all that stuff through a Kestrel and have a look. But the only downside is a Kestrel's not going to tell you whether it holds good vertical either. It'll tell you where it'll tell you your spin drift. It'll tell you all that good stuff. But does it shoot MOA to MOA and a half at 350 meters? There's no way to tell unless you just shoot it on paper. That's really the only way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fun when you're trying to run two companies and keep up with all those shenanigans, and then you're trying to test other stuff and figure things out. But
it's awesome, right? You're gonna look back at these days, Ryan, and go, "How the heck did I do that?" Well, we appreciate it.
The only thing that's holding me in there is I can mentally manage stuff pretty well. So
yeah, good. And you get to spend time with some really fun guys as well.
Well, I do.
That community is awesome. Yeah. We had a question on in the Ultimatum family. What are the caliber options you got right now for those that don't know what Ultimatum Precision offers in the deadline?
Well, in the deadline, we have 223, 308, regular Magnum, and 338 Lapua size bolt faces. So the deadline's kind of a cool system because the bolt head is removable, which means you can take 223 and take the bolt head off and put a 308 bolt head on there, change it to a 6 dasher. Then you can take the bolt head off and turn it into a 6.5 PRC, all with the same gun, with just simply a bolt head change, a barrel change, and probably a magazine change as well.
Right.
But the deadline runs really well off of prefits, barrel nut style prefits, but it also runs really good off of shoulders. Like the one I was shooting all summer was shouldered up. So you've got a couple of different options to do it there. The deadline holds tolerances as well. So, I mean, you could do a shoulder prefit if you wanted to.
Nice.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you're doing all of the Ultimatum as action only. And then you can choose to get an IBI barrel along with it. But you're separating the two for simplicity.
Well, for now, the companies are separate at the moment. At some point in the near future, we'll probably end up amalgamating. Like one of my gripes is that there are 3 websites that I have to deal with now. So there's the IBI website, which luckily, thanks to Brent Lucas, you can actually just get the US version of or the Canadian version, depending on where your IP address is. Well, Ultimatum has 2 websites, one Canadian and one American. So I've got 3 that I have to keep up on. 2 of them are Shopify, and the IBI one is on WooCommerce, which is a much better system. So I want to amalgamate it all together at some point. Whether I amalgamate the 2 Shopify sites together into one first, or whether we just go straight into the IBI one and have a separate address of some type, I'm not really too sure, but that's something that I got to kind of talk to Brent about a bit. But yeah, I think it's going to be much easier once we get it sort of all under one roof. But you are correct at the moment that if you order a barrel, it will come from IBI. You will get invoiced from IBI. If you order an action, it will come from Ultimatum, and it will be a different invoice. Obviously, I'm in the same office with myself, so I can put them together for you or whatever you need me to do. But at the moment, the way the books work, we just have to connect them up separately, put together at the same time. So.
Right.
Is the U.S. site operational? Can U.S. customers order? And I'm asking because the Deuce is a next year project for me, but this year Pascal was running his in the U.S. and he stirred up some attention.
Yeah, for sure. So there is a U.S. website. I'm trying to get rid of it, to be honest. I would like to have one that you click on and it reads your IP address, and then it just changes to your currency of whatever country. But apparently that's not a thing with Shopify, so that's why I'm trying to amalgamate the whole thing. So I will be honest and say that the U.S. website hasn't had much in the way of updating lately. So if you're in the U.S. and you want to have a look at the actions, just go to the ultimatumprecision.ca website, and all the prices there will be in Canadian, obviously. If you're interested in something, just shoot me an email to ryan@ultimatumprecision.com, and I will answer it directly. Unfortunately, the support line and the info at system that Ultimatum had previously, I don't have a password to get into it, believe it or not. So there's no way for me to answer any emails that come via that. So just email me directly, and I'll take care of you. I'm the only employee, so it's going to be me anyways. So there we are.
Fun.
But yeah, anything that we have on the Canadian site, you can get in the U.S. as well. And we have all the permits and everything else in place, and everything ships all the time. No issues.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So there you are. Yeah, it's good. But I think it's going to be easier when we have just one website to take care of it all. And you can go to an Ultimatum sort of page, or you can go to the IBI side. You can sort of click back and forth and look and see what goes with what. Choose all your bits and pieces and the different barrel profiles and twist rates and all that good stuff. And then just marry them up and one invoice at checkout, and Bob's your uncle.
Make it easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you've got inventory, you said, right?
Yeah, so I have, the only thing I'm out of right now is deuces, because the deuce seems to be taking on a bit of a life of its own. So when we took over, I think I had about 22 or 23 deuces in stock. Well, they're all gone. People were like, "Oh, nice, yeah, deuce is available." Okay, so they were all gone in no time. So I have another 60 in the process right now. They're probably going to be at least a month and a half out, because we're dealing with it all ourselves in-house now, which is a better way to do it. Deadlines, I have over 100 short actions in stock in left and right. I am probably maybe 3 to 4 weeks away from having just as many long actions in left and right in stock as well. If anybody's interested in the Tika footprint de facto, I probably have 30 or 40 actions in stock in both 223 and 308 boldface. So as long as it's not a deuce, I've got lots.
Well, I think it's pretty exciting to see. I mean, for the longest time, we had only one shooter here with a deuce. That was Pascal. Yep. And then came a couple of guys from the Petawawa area, one of which is now mine. And then, I mean, we just keep seeing more and more. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, we're a relatively small group of shooters, maybe, 50-ish guys rotating through the matches every month. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's quite neat to see that Canadian product.
Yeah,
the momentum.
It's cool. I think honestly, it just wasn't very well marketed before, and they didn't get it into the right hands.
Right.
And I think, I mean, the action itself it's badass. It's so fast, like it's crazy fast. That short bolt throw, you can almost keep up with a 10-22 with it. Not in reality, but it's fast. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, fast. In the right hands.
In the right hand, it's good, and they shoot really well. So,
right. Do you have inventory in deuce magazines, spare mags? Somebody asks.
I think I have about 35 in stock right now. So I would have to look, but I have some pieces coming for that. The Deuce magazines work. So I just want to let everybody know that there's nothing wrong with the Deuce magazines, but like any other centerfire, any other rimfire full-size magazine, you just got to fool around with it a bit and tweak it. Like mine, for example, I had to put tape on the front of the magazine in order to take up some of the slop in the chassis.
That's exactly what I did also.
That seems to be an issue from chassis to stock to chassis to stock to bottom metal to whatever. So some are AICS pattern size right on the money, and the thing drops in there and away you go. And some of them are sloppy. Like the stock that I have on my Deuce is sloppy, and so I had to take up that space because we all know that with a rimfire, if you're out like in the up and down angle of the bullet sitting in the magazine, if you're out by a millimeter, guess what happens? You feed it right into the rim of the mouth of the chamber, and you get a nice smile on it, and that's the end of that, right? So that angle and where the magazine stack fits and sits inside the clamshell and all that good stuff, it has to be perfect. So it takes a bit of tweaking, and it's got nothing to do with the mag. It's more chassis oriented. And all of my buddies, like Alex Sherwood, he has kind of the same deal as well.
Yeah.
I think
someone should do a video.
Yeah.
We need a video, right?
Yeah, it's just
all the possible ways. I know, right?
Another video because I have time.
I know. Someone's asking about a write-up somewhere for the 22 head spacing that you were alluding to earlier. Does that exist somewhere?
So there is actually a video IBI did that I did, and it was head spacing a barrel nut Bergera B15. So it shows you basically how to do it. It's no different for the Deuce. It's no different for Rimex. It's all the same idea. You just have to get... Basically what we found is that as you close the bolt, on the downstroke, you should have a little bit of tension in the bolt. It shouldn't just flop down on its own. I mean, you can shoot it that way, but we found that it shoots if there's a little bit of resistance on the bolt. But there's kind of a point of no return as well, because of course I'm like, wow, if I tighten this up a little bit, it shoots really good. What happens if I tighten it up a lot? So obviously I did the tighten it up a lot thing, and I tightened up to the point where I couldn't open the bolt without taking my face off the gun. So that the sweet spot is clearly where you can close the bolt and you just get a bit of resistance, but you can keep your face on the gun and operate the bolt with one hand without having to pull your face off and grab the scope and crank the bolts open. So but you know, it's pretty cool to be able to move the headspace around a little bit for your different lots of ammo and different rim thicknesses and all that good stuff. So
you're seeing a barrel tuner adjustment on the back end of the barrel, not the front end.
Well, I guess that's kind of like what the adjusting the headspace is. I haven't had any time to play with the tuners on the 22 because I think honestly, like I'm shooting a straight 106, and I think the really, really heavy ones are somewhat less tunable than something that has some taper and some profile to it.
Yeah.
I think lighter barrels probably tune a lot easier than the real heavy ones. So to be honest, I haven't really seen any need for a tuner, but if somebody wants to try it somebody's got to be doing it already. John, are you running a tuner on yours?
No.
Yeah.
No, I messed with the head spacing, but like mine's not threaded.
Yeah.
I guess honestly, yes, I have messed a little bit with it, but I have not seen any reason to pursue it further.
With the tuner?
With the tuner. Yes.
Yeah.
With the headspace, that's a for real thing.
Oh, for sure.
And I followed it, like I tracked it so I could figure out what my headspace was. And somewhere if you have a 40 thousandths rim, I would say set it to 42 thousandths. You're gonna be good. Mm-hmm. If you go, as soon as you crush 2 thousandths of an inch, things go to pot. So for my Ely, I set between a 38 and a 40 thousandths headspace.
Interesting.
And that'll get the best velocity spreads from what I've seen.
Yeah, that's interesting because, I think as soon as you're really cranking down on that bolt, you're probably crushing more than 2 thou. So you want to touch it, make it a bit snug, a little bit of resistance on the way down. Interesting. That's cool.
But you will feel, so if you have, say you have it at 44 thousandths, and then you will feel nothing. You go to 42, and you will start to feel it, even though you would say, well, that's not possible because I measured, but you got to remember when you're measuring your rim thickness, you're measuring one point. You're not measuring all the way around, generally speaking, unless you have an actual tool for it, which I do. But if you go to, at 40 thousandths with a 40 thousandths rim, you will feel it when you close. 2 thousandths crush, you definitely feel it. But if you're taking your head off your gun, you're probably crushing 4 thousandths.
Yeah, I bet you're too far.
Yeah.
For sure.
But no, it's very distinct. I could see it, and I moved that barrel between the Deuce and the Rimex. I had repeatable results with both actions. They both said the same thing. But interestingly, the Deuce action always had a lower velocity spread.
Interesting.
Which I have my opinions on why that could be, but I didn't expect that, to be honest with you, and it wasn't a lot, but it was every single time. So anyway,
I can't remember, where's the firing pin on a Rimex?
It's on the bottom.
Is it on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, that would have been probably the only thing I would have thought of right.
Yeah.
In the moment, but
so consistent. Your spring tension. Has a bearing on ignition consistency, and all other actions are two-piece designs. All other? Are Voodoo's two-piece?
I don't know.
I think they are.
I'm not sure what all the different generations are on them, but the Rimex is a two-piece design, and so that last blade isn't going to be as rigid as how the Deuce is set up.
Yeah.
So I think the more rigid, heavier setup in the Deuce creates more consistency. Because
maybe the ability to fine tune the firing pin tension a little bit in the Deuce as well is also helpful. I'm not sure.
I guess that's something I never saw on the Deuce. I have changed my firing pin. The Rimex I've never even checked to see what it is. So that's actually maybe there is a difference there, and I'm getting a better strike with the.
Could be maybe just a bit more consistent, possibly, or a little deeper, maybe.
Yeah, but both of them start to misfire at about 52 thousandths headspace. So I don't know.
Interesting.
But it's something I did notice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, head spacing, that's not a sales gimmick. It is for real. I don't see it so much in groups at 50 yards.
No.
But I can see it at 200 yards because your velocity spread difference does show up.
Yeah.
With high quality ammo. Like that's, yeah.
I think with those groups I posted on your page, Rick, that there were some groups there at, I think it was at 100.
Yep.
And I shot some with rifle match, SK rifle match. And then on the next set of targets over, there were 2 at the top, and those were I put the ammo in my pocket because it was 0 degrees. So I thought, maybe I'll see if warming it up helps. No. And then the 2 below that were a lot of ammo of SK rifle match that was actually head spaced for my gun, for my Deuce.
Okay.
And the vertical was fairly noticeable. There were a lot less flyers in the ones that were actually head spaced properly. So if you can see it at 100, you're definitely going to see it at 200 as well. But yeah, like 50, you can't tell anything because it's just one big hole. So
I'm just trying to find a picture of that. Yeah.
it was the 100 meter ones that I put up there.
Yeah.
So many things I have to mess around over the winter, get ready for next season.
You guys, man, like this whole Rimfire thing, when we first started it, I was like, oh yeah, we'll make 22 stuff, no problem.
That's
That'll
all
be
good, right?
easy. No, way more complicated than centerfire barrels. Centerfire barrels are easy.
Well, because you can't tune the load, so you have to sort of work around what you have.
100% it. Yep. But I mean, all that headspace stuff too that's not something that I would have thought. And you know, having the barrels super, super consistent from the chamber end right to the muzzle.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's fairly important. You know, we had guys telling us, oh, you got to taper your lap from the chamber end and make it tight to the muzzle. I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to do that? But then we realized that now that we have a CNC hone, that's not a thing. So as long as the bore diameter is consistent from one end to the other, you're good to go. You just don't want it to be any bigger at the muzzle, or you don't want any tight spots in the barrel either.
Right.
Tight spots will kill it as well. The old proverbial hot dog down the hallway.
Right.
That turns.
Nice.
And strangely enough, we are starting to learn. Actually, me and Bryson have been kind of going back and forth on this a little bit. That there is a carbon ring that forms in 22 shooting. Obviously, most of us know that there is. That carbon ring is a lot different than a centerfire carbon ring. So a centerfire carbon ring is back from the mouth of the case. It's actually behind the case of the mouth, in between the mouth of the case and the beginning of the shoulder. That carbon ring is baked on like you would not believe, and it's nearly impossible to get out of there unless you use CLR, which is what most of us are using. And that carbon ring builds up enough so that it actually squeezes the case mouth and gives you all kinds of wacky stuff going on.
Right.
Well, people were like, oh yeah, there's carbon ring in the 22. And I'm like, how is that possible? Like, there's not enough back pressure to cause any of that kind of stuff. So we started goofing around with it a bit, and the carbon ring is actually in front of everything. So it's in the chamber itself, further up where the projectiles go into the lands and grooves. So it's a different type of carbon ring. But anyways, what Bryce and I have sort of figured out is that maybe that carbon ring is resizing the projectile right off the get-go as it comes right out of the case, goes down the barrel, goes through that carbon ring, squeezes that lead projectile down a little bit, and then you get the hamburger. Yeah, you get the hot dog down the hallway effect to a very micro degree there, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what you guys have seen, but I've seen that my accuracy kind of goes to shit after about 400 rounds somewhere. I mean, it doesn't go completely to shit, but it's just not as good as it should be. So Bryce and I were kind of discussing it, and I think we're cleaning somewhere around that 300 to 400.
No way. Are you?
And
that's
not
pretty
cleaning. All I'm doing is I'm sticking a patch
just
in there,
a patch
on it, into the chamber, into that carbon ring, pull the carbon ring out, leave it. The bore gets nothing. I haven't cleaned the bore in like 12,000.
Just a chamber.
Just the chamber. Yep. Okay. And that carbon ring, which is just a hair in front of the case mouth.
Okay. Interesting.
And that seems to help quite a bit. And it'll take you 25 or 30 shots to get it back together again.
Yeah.
But then your accuracy goes right back to amazing. So
interesting.
Something for guys to try. See how it is. Because I think it was funny because Bryce and I were chatting when we started talking about this stuff, and he's like, how many rounds have you shot through your gun? And I'm like, I think I'm at around 8,500 rounds since I cleaned it. And he's like, holy crap. Yeah, and he was at 3,000 or something, and we're like, maybe we should clean these things and see what's going on. So we went over to the range before the match and cleaned it, and he's like, holy smokes, my accuracy's right back to where it was. And I'm like, oh, man. Have I really shot 8,000 rounds through this thing? And I had no idea that I had to sort of sort that out. So I did, and guess what happened? And it went right back to no flyers and no funkiness, and
interesting.
Pretty much going through one hole. So if you're having accuracy problems, that can be a pretty interesting way to sort of meter it and figure out if that's part of the problem.
I experienced something similar with my CZ, which I hadn't cleaned for an entire season, and I thought that like those groups were getting pretty large, and I started keeping it cleaner.
Yep.
But I went all the way. Like I cleaned this thing to a shine, and run about a box. So basically, like the pre-match routine is I'll clean the gun, then go and check my zero, calibrate my dope, and all this stuff. And by the time I'm done with that, I'm like a box or two in, and then it's perfect for the match. Costly on ammo, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I think if you're going to punch the entire board, you're probably going to have to put another 100 through it to get back to where you're at. But what I found with just sticking a brush, so I take like a 22 cal brush, put a patch on it, put some CLR in it, jam it in like an inch, and just let it sit for like 20 minutes. Give it a couple of twists, and that carbon ring comes right out. Do it again until nothing comes out. Then maybe dry patch in an inch or so, and then that's it. Nothing goes into the board.
You don't touch.
No, and it comes back in less than a box.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. Do you have a bore
process?
Do you have a bore scope, Thomas?
I have a neighbor called Matt Huey who has one. So
there you go. It'd be cool to get a peek at it.
Yeah. Maybe that's something that I should have a look at.
Yeah,
because I could do a video on something about the carbon ring, but sort of before and after, and some group sizes. And I think my CZ has about 6,000 rounds per it since I cleaned it. But
it probably has a pretty good one in there.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I have a few that are probably potentially in need of a cleaning.
Yeah, well, Rick, you're notorious for letting your rifles go.
So I think how tight your chamber is has a bearing on how fast or how big of a carbon ring you can have before it has an effect on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can notice my carbon ring with my first round velocity. And as my carbon ring builds, my first round might be 10 feet per second fast, then 20, then 30, then 40, and it'll work at I'll get a 60 feet per second increase on my first shot.
Yeah.
And then I clean that bore squeaky clean, or no, never the bore. We clean that chamber squeaky clean in about an inch of the rifling. And with a clean chamber, my first round will be about 57 feet per second fast. And then it'll go back to the normal velocity. But then after that, my first round will be the same. My first cold round of the day is going to be the same velocity as the rest. Around, and not all my barrels are the same, but around 200 rounds, I will start to see a slight change. Most people will never ever see it because they're not tracking enough stuff to have it show up.
Yep.
And somewhere in that 500 round range, I'll know it's first one's fast. I shoot a fast lot of ammo as well currently, so once I have a significant cold bore velocity increase, I hear it too. So it becomes obvious. But it won't, it's the first one of the day. It doesn't affect me between stages or anything like that.
Yeah.
So why is it not consistent? Does that ring soften after it gets heated up or something?
I think there's something to that for
sure.
I think so, because I sort of noticed the same thing. If the barrel is not, if that carbon ring hasn't been taken out of there, then some of the first shots can be faster, for sure.
Yeah, if you have 30,000 rounds through it, like my one barrel does, without being cleaned, then it does take a few rounds to settle it down. And if you are shooting every day, it only takes one. If you're shooting once a week, it's going to take a couple. If you let it sit for a month, it could take you a mag.
Yeah, I wonder if it solidifies after a while.
I really wonder, and maybe it's partially to do with wax.
Yeah.
Not just carbon.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to track whether it's different from SK and Lapua ammo to Ely, with the different types of lube. Because Ely lube is really a lot more solid than the SK and Lapua oily stuff.
You'll see it against the chamber, it's almost like a candle wax.
Yep, it is. Yep.
I can't speak to the SK versus Lapua, but Federal or CCI, or Ely, I notice a difference between those three.
Yeah.
So I do think there would be something to that.
Interesting.
There are way too many things here to try and crack.
Well, that's just it. And you can try so hard, and then at some point it's like, you know what? There's this thing called good enough.
Yep.
Just order 2 more cases.
Yep.
Forget about it. Go shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, Warren had a question on CLR and non-stainless barrels. Any issues, Ryan?
Yep. There's an issue. Yeah, you got to be careful with it. So you can use it, but it's best to neutralize it with brake cleaner and something like that afterwards. Don't let it sit in there overnight. You'll come back and there'll be corrosion. So just be super careful with it. If you're using it on a chromoly barrel and you're trying to take a chromoly center fire barrel and trying to take out a carbon ring, or actually a chromoly rimfire barrel too, just flush it out with some brake cleaner or something else afterwards. Don't let it sit in there. Make sure you get it all out, and try not to spill it into your action if you can help it. Good. Ask me how you know.
Good thing you have an unlimited supply of barrels, Ryan.
It wasn't my barrel, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, try this. This is awesome. And he gets it home and he's like, there's like rust around the. Like,
Ryan,
That's
my
awesome.
lucky barrel.
he was
1 in
working
1,000.
so I was like, yeah, whatever.
Gotcha. Awesome.
That's what it is.
Cool. That was awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thanks for the time, Ryan. It was
Yeah.
it was great catching up. Looking
Yeah.
forward to next year.
Yep. Me too. I got
Should be good.
my record of 15 matches in a season. So
Oh, it's there's never been a better time to be a shooter.
oh, I know. It's good in that department. There's lots of matches.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Hopefully we got to get you out here.
Yeah,
you
I'd
can
like to come out and
meet your East Coast customers and
meet all the guys and
meet all the guys.
chat and shoot.
Yeah, that's life, man. What
Sounds
else?
like a good
What else
time.
is there? Sounds like a modern day Conan Barbarian.
I want to go to John's house and root through all his data. He's shaking his head.
Mine. I worked for it.
Nice. True.
I don't think I want most of the data that you have because it would just open more rabbit holes. I'm okay with that being in your brain and not mine.
That is actually a valid point.
Yeah.
Because the more, Morgan King described it, and he got it from somebody else, but I forget who. Your piece of paper, that's like what you could know. You start out, it's just a little hole. And the more you know, the more you realize, actually, you know what? You don't know.
Yeah, there's some goodness to being blind in some ways, right? Somewhat blind. Yeah. So.
And so many things, if you try to explain, there are the exceptions, and you can't, like we're talking about the 1 in 12. They are slightly more picky, I find.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you're not going to get great results with that bucket of golden bullets. So as you start pushing the line to get better and better, it requires everything to be better. Yeah. You're going to have to shoot good ammo. You're going to need a good barrel. You're going to need an action that gives you consistent ignition. There's just so many details. I guess I've just sort of given up on the... you can't share too much or you'll just have significant backlash from people that don't know. And to spend the time to explain it all.
Yeah, you can't.
There's something about going to a gunsmith and you say, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And he puts together that package for you. You pick up that rifle. It's going to do 100% what you want because he knows the details. He doesn't have to explain you all those details. You're probably going to argue with him anyway because you read online somewhere. You got to trust a good gunsmith. And they have a reputation because they know. And there is something to be said for that, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Lego guns, there are limitations on what people can offer because the success rate will go down because too many people that don't know are going to try to put together a lighting gun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think also there's a lot of noise out there and minutia that people get tangled up in, and when it comes to their shooting, they're probably much smarter to ignore a lot of that and just carry on practicing, find good ammo, work your positions, work on your wind calls. You're going to get way more out of your system by doing that than you are by, obsessing over the most teeny little matters, right?
SK rifle match versus long range.
Yeah, I don't know. They both shoot great. Whatever, I'll shoot whatever.
Yeah, you can win with either one. You can also suck with either one.
Yep, exactly.
I purposely shot a match with an unnamed ammo and an unnamed barrel. I picked a combination that shot bad purposely because I wanted to see. I was shooting around 1 1/4 groups at 50 yards, and I went and shot an outlaw match.
Yep.
I was still in the top. I didn't win, but
yeah.
There was a couple bullets that very distinctly didn't go where they belonged.
I've had the odd one of those where you're shooting, you're holding a nice water line, and then there's one way over there, and you're like,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it holds you back a lot less than you think when you're starting.
I've always thought, and I think Rick and I have talked about this, about having a blazer only match where you show up with whatever gun you want. You get handed 2 boxes of blazer. One of them is for zeroing, and the other is for the match. And you have
that'd be awesome.
For your gun, make it work.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, for sure.
That would then you want a lab radar.
Yeah.
Because with the lab radar, it does multiple velocities out to 100 meters, and you'd be able to calculate your BC.
Yep.
You're excited.
Like the ultimate would be everyone shoots the same equipment, rifle, optic, ammo.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get a morning to play around with it, and then you shoot a match.
Yeah.
Then we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, even if you would need some sort of velocity reading material
for sure.
You could run it through your Kestrel in the DSF and just have 3 or 4 targets, one at 100, one at 200, one at 300, and run the DSF on the Kestrel, and then you'd have good zero out to 300. You could do it that way too. But I don't know. See if you can get CCI Blazer on as a sponsor, right? We'll put together a match. Blazer
only, yeah.
We'll call it the Blazer.
The Blazer. The Blazer blowout.
Yeah.
Someone said Blazer match with Savage Rascals.
Now that would be.
Yeah. It's got the most user hostile mag release ever.
Yeah.
All right, gents, we're an hour and a half. Hey, Ryan, again, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do for keeping us fed with quality products, and always fun shooting matches with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the laughs.
Anytime.
John.
All good.
Thomas, thank you guys for taking the time out. Good seeing you guys again.
It's a pleasure.
And we'll see everybody. So we're going to go every 2 weeks now. We're trying to find a happy median between content and available time. And we'll keep bringing on our sponsors to get updates. And we're trying to line up one of our key sponsors for the podcast in 2 weeks' time. So Thanks again, everybody. Have a good evening. See you all on the firing line. And the ORPS data is going to be updated. We got the final version 3 yesterday, so we're just doing the final scrubbing, and we'll be posting the year-end season winners for the season, and we'll announce that on the next podcast and show you what the year-end trophies look like. So,
sweet.
Anyway, thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Ryan, thank you. John, Thomas.
Take care, guys.
Take her easy.
See you guys later. Take it easy. Bye.
You bet. Take care.